Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome back to another video. All right, let's see what we got for you right now. You cannot say that I do not bring you cards that are not very known because I make sure that I please everyone. You don't just want to see an everyday card. Sometimes you want to see a card that is not very popular or was not very known. But let's get to the point. Let's see what we got for you right now. We have for you right now a 143 scale 2002 Honda FCX. What is the Honda FCX? Let's check it out. I'm going to give you a little information. I'm going to read some information so you are familiar of what is this. By the way, FCX means hydro- hydrogen fuel cells. I'm sorry, no. Retract that. FCX means fuel cells experimental. That's what it means. So basically, this is the very first. Let's let me give you exact how they put it in. This was the very first vehicle with this type of power, fuel cell power, that came out to be, let's call it, a mass production. At least when it came out, example, let me just give you a little information. When it came out in North America, let's make it clear. Let's give it more into like the US. It only came in a few states. It was only sold in a few, actually not in the whole state. Some parts, like in California, it was only sold like in the city of Chula Vista, but it was basically sold in little spots. They wanted to see how good this car would be, how popular this car will be. And basically, it gave it was back in 2002. You have to remember, it was not what people were not used to these cars. Even nowadays, fuel cells powered vehicles, they're not really fully used yet. Right now, we're still trying to assimilate or get used to the electric cars, and hybrids are already more integrated. But electric cars still has a little bit of a taboo if it's going to be reliable, if the batteries will last, and all those things, and the amount of time for charging. But this car, they still make the example. Honda in came out with a Honda Clarity. I think it's called Clarity, and I think it was only sold in Japan and the US, just to know better about this car. I don't have a lots of information up because this car back in the days, even back then, it was not popular. Only a few of them were sold. I don't think I even see them on the road no more. And engine wise, so it was basically had a maximum output of 80 kilowatts, which was 107 horsepower and 201 foot pounds of torque, and it gave a range of more or less of 190 miles. But then in 2005, they refreshed it a little bit. They made it a second generation. They refreshed it a bit, but after 2005, the FTX went back to the drawing board, and that's when in 2008 they came out with the FCX Clarity. Maybe it's a car that you're probably more familiar. I've seen a few Clarity before, but it's not a popular car regardless. Excuse my little information that I'm giving you on this car. It's a hard info to give because unfortunately, since it's not a very popular car, was never a popular car, sometimes the fuel cell cars, vehicles, are not really out there. By the way, so back in the Honda Clarity when it came out in 2008, example in the US, it was only sold in Southern California because California always been that state that if they're gonna be if any type of different type of car will come out, California will be probably the one that will try it first. But and now, by the way, these cars were never sold; they were only leased. By the way, so you know. So now that I'm saying leased, it makes me even more confirmed that they're probably rare occasions that you might see one on the roads, because sometimes when these cars back in the days come out, like electric cars, GM, I remember back real quick, I'll let you know, GM back in the early 2000s, they came out with either the early 2000s or late 1998, 1999, they came out with a little electric car, and they leased them also. And at the end of the lease, they crushed them all. They didn't want to keep them, and even as a record, I think only one or two survived, but it was a rare thing. But most of them were crushed. And that's what happens. Some of these cars, they don't really want to keep them around. I guess they may not be ready to. Maybe they're scared they might give problems in the future. But basically, that will be it. All right, guys, I'm gonna let it go around a few times, and I'll be right back. All right, guys. One thing I was reading before, now as I was watching the car go around, I read that this model and the Toyota FCHV, which was it was also a hybrid hydro, hydrogen fuel cell vehicle. Between this one and the Toyota, were the very first. Uh, let me tell you, they became the world's first government certified commercial hydrogen fuel cells vehicles. And obviously both of them are like non-existent no more. I guess they you know fuel cells, hydrogen fuel cell cars hasn't picked up their momentum like the electric cars has. Maybe who knows in the future, maybe in the future it will be a different story. All right, guys, don't forget to give me that beautiful thumbs up. I really, really appreciate. Thank you so much for commenting below. Don't where you guys are from, what you like, what you guys like to see, what you guys collect, what scales, and let me know about this car. Did you know about this car at all? Have you ever seen it in person, or you just like me that we have very little information? I seen one or two in person once or twice back in the days. I'm talking about a while ago, a long time ago when I was younger, but I haven't seen one in decades, probably at least a decade and a half. So that's how actually it's yeah, they're very rare nowadays. All right, guys, take care of yourselves. Don't forget to click and subscribe and click the bell next to the subscribe button. That will remind you when I'm posting more videos. Like I was gonna say before, take care of yourselves more than ever, and goodbye.